Morning. Today we're going to continue our discussion about statistics, and particularly we're going to talk about box plots and outliers. So let me open up, share my screen so that we can get going here. Okay, so you should pull out this page 14 in your binder. This is what we're taking notes on. Make certain that's what you are using. Page 14, not some blank piece of paper, the paper out of your binder. Now, outliners. We're going to define an outlier. We're going to define it as, it's going to be a data point let's see, on a graph or in a set of results. In other words, a set of data. That is very much bigger or smaller than the next nearest and the next nearest data point. Yeah, so in other words, it's a lot bigger than everybody else, than anything else in the data set. For example, if we were going to find the average age in our class, you add up all the ages, of course, divide by how many. However, if you included me, see, I'm a whole lot older than anybody else in this room, and so that would skew or pull the average up, so it looks higher than it really is. Okay, I would be considered an outlier because I'm so much older than the rest of you. See, outlier. Mathematically speaking, an outlier is 1.5 times the interquartile range, either above or below. Okay, and so we're going to talk about that here as we go through our notes, and we'll show you how to calculate that mathematically. Okay, so before we do this, we're going to write down how to create a box plot, and will include how to calculate if there's going to be any outliers. Okay, so how to create a box plot. First thing you're going to do, of course, is find the 5-number summary. To do that, you've got to put the numbers in order. So we will put the data in order. You must have it in order or your numbers will be all screwed up. And once we have it in order, we can find the min, the max, and all the quartiles. So once we have it in order, we'll find the minimum. We will find Q1, the first quartile. We will find the medium, which is Q2. And we'll find Q3. And we'll find the max. We've already done this. You've done this the last 2 days in your notes when we've made box plots. You found those 5 summary points. Okay, so we do that. Next, we're going to find the IQR. Remember, IQR stands for interquartile range, or in other words, the range of your box when you make your box plot. So the interquartile range, that will be Q3, top of the box, minus Q1, the bottom of the box. Okay, that's the IQR, the interquartile range. Next, we're going to use this formula. As I mentioned before we started, to find the upper and lower limits, okay, 1.5 interquartile ranges above or below. So that's what we're going to do here. 1.5 times the IQR, the interquartile range. Okay. Step 4, find the upper limit. So that will be Q3 plus that number we just found, the 1.5 times the IQR. Okay, there's your upper limit. All right, find the lower limit. Well, if we added it, find the upper limit, it would make sense that we're going to subtract from the other end of the box. So from Q1 minus 1.5 times the IQR. And of course, these two are just numbers. Q1's the number, the 1.5 IQRs we found up here in step 3. Step 6, now you're going to check for outliers. And the way to do that, you're going to look. Do any data points go past the upper or lower limits? The upper or lower limits. Okay. And then of course, you'll draw a scale and label a scale and draw the box plot. Okay. Now that we know all the steps, let's go back here and do it. Now we see our numbers here, 60, 76, 84, 88, 89. It looks to me like, yes, they are already in order. So we don't have to put them in order. They're already in order. But we've got to find the 5 number summary. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Okay, 21. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I would put this right here, that right there, as the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Exactly. So we found our median. Okay. Our minimum's obvious. Okay. The minimum is 60, the smallest number. Q1, we haven't found yet. We're going to right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's going to be halfway between 88 and 89. Halfway between 88 and 89 is going to be 88.5. Okay, right here. Okay, then the median, or Q2, we already found. That was 92. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's the middle there in the top half. So the Q3 is 97. And max, or the largest number, is 100. Okay, so we found our 5 number summary. Step 2, find the IQR. IQR equals, okay, IQR Q3, 97 minus Q1, 88 and a half. Okay. Now, if you are wanting to use a calculator, go ahead. Comes out to be 8.5. Step 3. Use the formula 1.5 times the IQR. So 1.5 times the IQR we just found to be 8.5. Okay, if we do that multiplication, comes out to be 12.75. Let's see, I'm going to pause this for a minute and grab. Okay, grab the calculator. Some of you will have calculators like this, and you know, hopefully we know how to use them. 1.5 times, oops, 8.5, and it comes out to be 12.75, just like we already knew. So, brings us to step 4. Step 4, find the upper limit. The upper limit, of course, if we look at our formula, Q3, 97. So this is the upper limit. Okay, equals Q3, 97, plus the 1.5 IQRs. See right here, our formula in step 4, and the 1.5 IQRs we just found to be 12.75. Well, if we use our magic box, we have 97 plus 12.75 equals 109.75. 109.75. There's your upper limit. The lower limit, that's step 5. Lower limit, if you look at the formula that we just wrote down, it says Q1, which is 88 and a half, 88.5, minus 1.5 IQRs. And 1.5 IQRs we found to be 12.75. So 88.5 minus 12.75 equals 75.75. 75.75. Okay, that's your lower limit. Then it says check for any outliers. Anything above 109.75, our maximum number is 100. So there's nothing above. Or anything below the lower limit. The lower limit is 75.75, and our lowest number is 60. 60 is smaller than 75.75, so the score of 60 is an outlier. It's an outlier. So that means then when we make our box and whisker, we will use a minimum we'll use a minimum of 76. See our next smallest number here of 76. In the plot. Okay. 7, make the box plot. Okay, so we're gonna do, we go 60, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 70, 2, 4, 6, 8, 80, 2, 4, 6, 8, 90, 2, 4, 6, 8, 100. Okay, we can go by twos. 62, 64, 66, 68, 70, 72, 74, 76, 78, 80, 82, 84, 86, 88, 90, 92, 94, 96, 98, 100. Okay. So we're going to make our box plot. We have our outlier out here at 60. Our minimum now is 76 right here. Our Q1 is 88.5, 88. Let's see, that'd be 89, so 88.5 is about right here. Median is 92 here. Q3 is 97, which would be right here. Max of 100. Okay, so my straight edge. Let's do it like this. There's my box. And there's my box and whisker. Okay. And that's how you draw a box and whisker, taking into account the outliers. Okay, the next one. This science teacher has another 9th grade class. Here are their scores. And again, they are in order. So that saves us a bit of work. So I'm going to move this up. And we'll do it again. So we have, well, let's count them. 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15, 17, 18, 19, 20. 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So our median is right here. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Our Q1 will be here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And our Q3 is here. So we have minimum equals 68. Q1 equals 75. Our median equals 84. Q3 Well, halfway between 86 and 87. I believe that's 86 and a half. And the maximum or the largest number, again, is 100. Okay, so we have our five number summary. Okay, step 2, find the IQR. So Q3, 86.5, so our IQR is 86.5 minus Q1, 75. And again, if you need to, you can use your magic box. It's safer, 86.5 minus 75, 11 and a half IQR. Okay, then we need to find our 1.5 times IQR. 1.5 times 11.5 equals, and again, 1.5 times 11.5, 17.25. Okay, step 4, find the upper limit. Okay, so we'll upper limit. Upper limit is Q3, 86 and a half, plus 1.5 IQRs, so plus 17.25. So plus upper limit of 103.75, 103.75. Then 5, find the lower limit. Lower limit. Lower limit is going to be Q1, 75, minus the 1.5 IQRs, or 17.25. So 75 minus 17.25. 57.75. 57.75. Okay, there's our limits. Now, 6, we check for outliers. Let's see, the smallest number is 68. That's bigger than our lower limit, so no outlier on that end. The largest number is 100. Our limit is 103.75, 100 smaller than that, so no outliers. No outliers. Now all we have to do is draw our box plot. And again, we're going to go by 2s. Okay, so we're ready to put our 5 number summary on there. Let's see. The max was 100. So right here. The upper quartile, Q3, is 86 and a half. There'd be 87, so about 86 and a half, so about right here. The median is 84. The lower limit, or Q1, is 75, right here. and the minimum is 68 right here. Well, let's see how I did with my box. Not too bad. And draw the whisker out here. And over here. Okay. Looks good. Looks good. Okay. So, box and whisker, how to calculate outliers. Now turn it over. There's a backside. Yay, a backside. So pull out the backside. Let's take a look at it. That was B. Now we're on C. Each box plot was drawn using the original maximum and minimum of the data set, answer the questions. So they already did it, all the work for us. All we gotta do is answer questions. So that's nice. Are there any outliers in this data? We don't know. We're gonna have to calculate. So remember, to find the outlier, we need 1.5 interquartile ranges. So 1.5. Oh, what is the IQR? Well, I'm going to do it right over here. The IQR is 60 minus 20, or 40. So 1.5 times 40. Well, 1.5 times 40 is 60. Okay. If we take and find our upper limit is Q3, 60, plus 1.5 IQRs, this 60 we just calculated. So that's an upper limit of 120. So are there outliers? Well, if the upper limit's 120, that's down here somewhere. Yes. Yes. 190. And there might be other numbers up here we don't really know. You know, all we know is that one is. Okay, we know that 190 is an outlier. Okay, or in other words, it is above the upper limit. Okay, next question. 2, what was the median amount of time spent on homework? Well, the median, remember, in the box is right here, that line. Okay, 48. So 48 minutes. Don't forget to label 48 minutes. Okay, next question. 3, what percent of the students spent below 20 minutes on homework? Okay, here's 20, they want below. So how much is this? Well, remember, each piece of a box plot is a fourth, or 25%. So 25%, 25%, 25%, 25%. So below 20 is this whole piece right here, this whole whisker. So percent is 25%. Not 25, 25%. You've got to put the percent sign on there. Okay, 4. If you calculated the mean of this data set, would you expect it to be higher or lower than the median? Okay, what do you think? The mean, remember the mean is average of all the numbers. What do you think? Higher or lower? I would say, remember what I said before we even started about finding the mean or the average age of our class. Okay, so we would expect it to be higher. Why? Because the outlier would pull the mean value higher. Just as I pointed out, if we were averaging our ages and included mean. The outlier would pull the mean to a higher value. Okay. Part D. Again, they have done the plot for us. All we have to do is answer some questions. And they look like not exactly the same question, but number one is, are there any outliers? Well, again, we don't know until we calculate. So our interquartile range on this one, IQR, is 96 minus 72. So our IQR is 36. So our 1.5 times 36 Now, let's see here. Let's turn this on. Well, see, that's what happens when you are just going along. It's not 36, it's 24 for those of you that can actually subtract. 1.5 times 24 is 36. I was thinking ahead of the game, but we want to write all of our work. So 1.5 times, I'll fill that in a minute when it dries. 1.5 times 24 is 36. So our limits. This one doesn't look like it because look, 96 minus 36 or plus, see, for the upper. '96 plus 36. 132. So that one obviously was not. The lower limit, okay, 72 minus 36 is 36. And our lowest number is 38. So no outliers. No outliers. '24. Okay, this was 24. Okay, so we got that taken care of. What was the lowest score on the test? Well, the lowest score on the test, 38. What percent of the class scored above 72? Well, there's 72. Well, 25, 25, and 25. The interquartile range, the box, always represents 50% of your data. 25 here, 25 here. There's another 25. So 75% of the class scored above 72. Do you think this test was too hard for the class? What do you think? Too hard? No, no, no. I think it's pretty obvious it wasn't, because 75% scored above 72. Only 25% scored below 72. only 25% of the class scored below 72%. Okay. Last one. Only 2 questions. Are there any outliers? Well, once again, we have to figure it out. So we need to know the interquartile range. Now we could do it like this, I suppose. 1.5 times 110 minus 15. That's how we find the interquartile range. Now, on the other problems, I found it out here on the side and then put it in. You could do it like this, you know. And so if you have 110 minus 15, it's 95. This is 1.5 times 95. 142 and a half. Okay. Now, our upper limit (110 plus 142.5), 252 and a half. Top number 225, so no outlier there. Lower limit, well, obviously not. If we go 15 minus 142.5, we get a negative number. Negative 127.5. And the smallest number is 0. So obviously no outliers at all. No outliers. Okay. Last question. What percent of sophomores watch between 15 and 110 minutes? 15 and 110. So in other words, what percent are in your box or in that interquartile range? Okay. 25% here, 25% there. The box that I mentioned just a minute ago, that is 50% of your data. Okay. That's box and whiskers. That's how you do all the calculations, how you make one, how you read one. Okay. So very good. We will spend more time talking about this in our next video. But that's a good start. If you have any questions, make certain that you ask them in class or email either Mrs. Johnson or myself, depending on who your teacher is. Okay, that's it for today. Good luck on, well, don't forget to upload your notes for your binder check, and then you have a homework assignment to do. Okay, let's see. I'm going to take a look at that, see if there's anything I need to tell you about it. The homework assignment, that is. Okay, I think your homework assignment is analyzing data. Doesn't look like there's anything tricky there. Just make sure you show your work. Okay, so have fun. We will be doing another one of these soon. Enjoy.